Narayanam Adisukaram Asanna Sundiram Apeta Sadvasam Kruta Pratikaram Maharya Vikramam Vilakshadaityam Bhagavan Sahasranir Jagadhanarayanam Adisukaram Asanna Sundiram Apeta Sadvasam Kruta Pratikaram Maharya Vikramam Vilakshadaityam Bhagavan Sahasranir Jagadhanarayanam Adisukaram. Word to word. Asana, attain. Soundiram, power. Apeta, divide of. Sadvasam, fear. Kruta, making. Pratikaram, opposition. Aharya, unopposable. Vikramam, having power. Vilaksha, having seen. Daityam, the demon. Bhagavan, the worshipful Brahma. Sahasrani, the leader of thousands of sages. Jagada, address. Narayanam, Lord Narayana. Adi, the original. Sukaram, having the form of a boar. Translation by Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Gopal Gopal Vijaya. After arriving at the place of the combat, Brahma, the leader of thousands of sages and transcendentalists, saw the demon who had attained such unprecedented power that no one could fight with him. Brahma then addressed Narayana, who was assuming the form of a boar for the first time. Please repeat. After arriving at the place and transcendentalists, saw the demon who had attained such unprecedented power that no one could fight with him. Brahma then addressed Narayana, who was assuming the form of a boar for the first time. Let's go to the next verse, as this doesn't have purport. Brahma Vacha Eshate Deva Devana
Ruji, we can't hear you properly. There's a lot of resonation. Oh, there's a lot of echo and resonation.
I see. Okay. Probably someone can share because I think cell phone memory. Yeah. I think memory issue. So 3:18:22 to 23. Yeah, this one has purport. Okay, I'll keep reading. Someone can share. Brahma Vacha Eshate Deva Devanam Angri Moolam Upeyusam Vipranam Saura Veinam Bhutanam Api Anagasam. It is clear now, right? Voice is clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Agaskrut Bayakrut Duskrut Asmad Radhavaro Asura Anveshan Apratirato Lokana Atati Kantakaha. Brahma Vacha Eshate Deva Devana Mangri Moolam Ubeyusam Vipranam Sauraviram Bhutanam Anagasam. Agaskrut Bayakrut Duskrut Asmad Radhavaro Asura Anveshan Apratirato Lokan Atati Kantakaha. Brahma Vacha, Lord Brahma said, Isha, the demon, Te, your Deva, O Lord, Devanam, to the demigods, Angri Moolam, your feet, Upeyusam, to those having obtained, Vipranam, to the Brahmanas, Sauraveinam, to the cows, Bhutanam, to ordinary living entities, Api also, Anagasam, innocent, Agakrit, an offender, Bhayakrit, a source of fear. Duskrit, wrongdoer. Asmat, from me. Radhavara, having attained a boon. Asura, a demon. Anveshan, searching. Apratiratha, having no proper combatant. Lokan, all over the universe. Atati, evanders. Kantakaha, being a pin prick for everyone. Translation by Divine Gesesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord, this demon has proved to be a constant pinprick to the demigods. The Brahmanas, the cows, the innocent persons who are spotless and always dependent upon worshipping your lotus feet, he has become a source of fear by unnecessarily harassing them. Since he has attained a boon from me, he has become a demon, always searching for a proper combatant, wandering all over the universe for this infamous purpose. Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord, this demon has proved to be a constant pinprick to the demigods. The Brahmanas, the cows, the innocent persons who are spotless and always dependent upon worshipping your lotus feet, he has become a source of fear by unnecessarily harassing them. Since he has attained a boon from me, he has become a demon, always searching for a proper combatant, wandering all over the universe for this infamous purpose. Purport by Prabhupada. There are two classes of living entities. One is called Sura, or the demigods, and other is called Asura, or the demons. Demons are generally fond of worshipping the demigods, and there are evidences that by such worship, they get extensive power for their sense gratification. This later proves to be a cause of the trouble to the Brahmanas, demigods, and other innocent living entities. Demons habitually find fault with demigods, Brahmanas, and innocent, to whom they are constant source of fear. The way of the demon is to take power from the demigods and then tease the demigods themselves. There is an instance of a great devotee of Lord Shiva who obtained a boon from Lord Shiva that the head of whomever he touched with his hand would come off its trunk, Rukasura. As soon as the boon was offered to him, the demon wanted to touch the very head of Lord Shiva. That is their way. The devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead do not, however, ask any favor for sense gratification. Even if they are offered liberation, they refuse it. They are happy simply engaging in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. We'll try to understand this verse, nice verse. So this is a connection from yesterday's discussion of Bhishmadev also. Om Ajnanatirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Mokam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grim Yatrupatamam Mande Sri Gurum Dyanatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Vajitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Rupa Goswami. Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Mund ki jai. So mainly especially this chapter, last few chapters, talking about this fighting of Hiranyaksha. As for this chapter, the actual fighting is described in great detail. But main point, if Hiranyaksha is having this false pride, that is a demoniac mentality. Demigods can give only, as we are hearing from Narada Muni speaking to Narada Muni heard. Sorry, not Narada Muni. Vasudev heard from Narada Muni. That is, and then Vasudev is saying how by worshipping demigods you get different results, and by worshipping Supreme Lord you get different results, and they are not independent. There is telling that Bhutanam, what is it? Devratam, Tataivatan, Chayeva Karma Sachiva, Sadavo Dina Vatsala. Bhutanam Tatapi Devan. So one who is worshipping the demigod, Tataivatam, so they will get only what they have asked for. They cannot do anything more than that. Chayeva Karma Sucho Sadavo Dina Vatsala. So they are like shadow. Shadow when if you are turning, if you are standing, then against the sun, then you see the shadow like that. So the Supreme Lord is the front, and then they are like shadow. Without a person being there, there is no shadow. Without the Supreme Lord giving them the blessings and the mercy to give that benediction, they cannot do it. They are not independent. They are dependent on the Supreme Lord. So what living entity is asked for the things, the like Hiranyaksha is asking a boon from Lord Brahma. He could give only certain things. He couldn't give immortality, whatever they asked for. But he gave to the extent he can hold it based on his karma. Lord Brahma is able to give because Lord Krishna gave, Lord Vishnu has given that mercy. But on other opposite side, where Vasudev is saying, because this is in King Nimi, Navayogendras. King Nimi met Navayogendras. He's asking how to be delivered. Then one of the Navayogendras is describing that this previous conversation, what was discussed between Narada and Vasudeva, and then what it was they said. Chayeva karma sujo sadavo dina vasala. These pure devotees are the like very, very merciful. By their mercy, we'll be able to cross over this material world. By their mercy, our hearts can be purified and transformed. So that is the difference. By taking shelter of demigods, nothing is going to happen. You will be still running around in this material world from top to down. Abrahma Bhavana Loka Punaravartana Arjuna. So Mama Punarjanma Vidyate. If you take shelter of the pure devotees, because that's where Supreme Lord is residing in the heart. When you go to holy place, that's what you are supposed to do, hear from. Now let's see what, if you want to be liberated from this false pride, many times devotees ask, how can you remove false pride? Then Lord Rishabhadev instructs in Canto very beautiful instructions. How will you remove these strong knots, especially the male and female attraction and various other unwanted desires are sitting, as the demons are representing unwanted desires. Rishabhadev is instructing. When the strong knot in this heart of a person implicated in material life due to the results of past action is slackened, one turns away from his attachment to home, wife, and children. In this way, one gives out the basic principle of illusion, I and mine, and becomes liberated. Thus, one goes to the transcendental world. So that's why one must. Then, what we are supposed to do? Oh, my sons, he's instructing before giving the kingdom. He's instructing. You should accept a highly elevated Paramahamsa, a spiritually advanced spiritual master. As mentioned many times, spiritual master is also at different levels. Is also at different levels, but minimum level is there in the Nishta stage, and they can be at higher stages all the way to Krishna Prema, pure devotee. But minimum bona fide spiritual master, they will be situated in the Nishta stage. They will be able to take us back to spiritual world as long as they are following the previous spiritual master. They are holding the lotus feet of previous spiritual master. They will be able to. Doesn't matter, even though they may not be situated in Krishna Prema, but they will be able to take himself and take his descendants as long as he's holding on to. But ideally, one must here, as it is mentioned, accept highly elevated Paramahamsa. So spiritually advanced spiritual master. So that's why Prabhupada said, Falena Parichyate. You see how many is able to convert. So Prabhupada, you can see 10,000 disciples he made, so many pure devotees is able to make. So, and when he was there on this planet itself, he mentioned already. So Jayanand Prabhu went back to Godhead. Vishnu Jan Maharaj went back to Godhead. 2 disciples already. He said, spiritual master, even one person I can make a pure devotee. That's a success of my life. That's what Prabhupada said many times. So already while being in the planet itself, 2 disciples and many more, but at least these 2, Prabhupada himself said from his own mouth. In this way, you should place your faith and love in me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You should detest sense gratification and tolerate the duality of pleasure and pain, which are like the seasonal changes of summer and winter. This is the first, tolerate. I mean, austerity is to tolerate. So this is the first one must accept. Adav Guru Ashrayam. That's what he is speaking here. And then he's telling, so you must tolerate, because the pains and pleasures will come, so many difficulties will come, whether it's Draupadi or Pandavas or Prahlad Maharaj, we are not prone to that. We are nothing in front of them. So imagine what kind of difficulties we have to go through. So that's why we have to tolerate. which are like this. Try to realize the miserable condition of living entities who are miserable even in the higher planetary systems. That means including demigods. That's why Lord Brahma is submitting. Hey, I have given wrong bones to Hiranyaksha, and now he's popped up. He's thinking nobody is to fight. So that's why they have indicated you go and fight with the Lord. No one else is capable. This is the same mentality we see again and again throughout the demons. Like this guy, this what is it, Baumasur or Banasur. Banasur also did that. Banasur also got so many boons from Lord Shiva. I went and said, I have 10 hands, so many hands and so powerful. There's nobody to combat with me because everybody is afraid, running away and fleeing away as soon as they see Banasur. The Lord Shiva said, you are now too much false, proud is coming up. No, hold on for few more days. You will see the Lord. You can fight. Then your false pride will be crushed to pieces. So that's when Lord Krishna personally comes and fights. Then Lord Shiva has to come to his shelter. He leaves with two hands. That is the. So you can see the only Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna can protect, can actually purify any living entity, give liberation, can purify the living entity. Demigods cannot do, whether Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva cannot do, unless it is sanctioned by the Supreme Lord. So further, that's why we must tolerate. Try to realize the miserable condition of living entities who are miserable even in the higher planetary systems. Philosophically inquire about the truth. Yesterday we discussed Prayachittam Vimarshanam. Philosophically inquire about the truth. Then undergo, that means Adav Guru Ashrayam, Vishramba Sevanam. First you serve the spiritual master, then Sadharma Pruch. Then you ask questions, philosophically inquire, not just within your mind, but ask spiritual master, ask his representatives. This is what we are supposed to do. Then sadhu marganu gamanam. Then keep hearing, keep following the instruction. That's what is coming to. Then undergo all kinds of austerities and penances for the sake of devotion service. So austerity to not so much about the bodily fasting, but austerity to, if you are doing Vaishnava Panchik, if you are doing Kartik Vrata, whatever Vrata you are going to take, Ekadasi, more and more increase your devotion service. That is where the actual real purpose, essence is. Whether you do 10 times you eat or not, that's immaterial. Whether you are increasing devotion service or you are on the same, yesterday also you did the same thing, then you're not really getting the point. So when you avoid eating, then you are supposed to increase. If you are not doing that, you are absorbing something else, then it's not, you are in the niyamagraha. You are not really understood the essence of Ekadasi, essence of these vratas. So that is the important point. That's a sadhu marganu gamanam. What previous spiritual master has done, exactly you have to take. How to do Vaishnava Panchak, why it has to be done. It's clearly given. Sanatana Goswami describing is what is the result of following. Who has done it? Ambaresh Maharaj done, Vasishtha done, so many others done. But not everybody is capable. That's why Sri Prabhupada didn't give some of these instructions because it's too austere to do. It's not so easy to do. How will they do, especially in Western world? It's not so easy. And obviously Prabhupada had short time. He has so many other things to finish. So specifically, he didn't talk about certain things. So this is also one of them. But Acharya has commented, and Ambaresh Maharaj has done it. He's a pure devotee. So we have to follow sadhu margan gamanam. Then vartamanu vartanam. Then you will be able to progress in devotion. Otherwise, there is no possibility of progressing in devotion service. Give up the endeavor for sense enjoyment and engage in the service of the Lord. So more you come to the positive transcendental level, that means you have to keep engaging in service. More and more you have to take responsibility, more and more services. Listen to discussions about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Krishna Katha, we already mentioned yesterday. So Sranatam Sraddhaya Nityam Grunanti Svache Sthitam Bhagavan Visudevudi. So Kalen Mahati Dirgyan, by simply hearing or Pravishta Kannarandrena Swanam Bhava Sarovaram. Duno Disamalam Krishna. Cellulam Yathasarat. More you, the real transcendental sound vibration is entering into the hearts, into sinking into the heart. That's when the transformation will start. Then that's when you will take up service. And it is not sinking into your heart, then you are not going to take any service. You're just simply enjoying with our own mental speculation. And always associate with devotees. Chant about and glorify the Supreme Lord. This is again and again same instruction we see in Bhagavad Gita. Before that, 9 verses is talking about why how I appear, when I will appear, what purpose I appear. And the one who understand, how will you understand? Tasmat Bhara Sarvatma Bhagavan Isro Harisrota Vesakirtita Vesmarta Vesachita Abhayam. You have to hear, then you have to chant, glorify, then you have to remember. So this is the same thing. This is again and again repeated. That's why the Sravanam is so important. For Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Sampradaya, Sravanam and Kirtanam. This is called Bhagavat Vidhi. Rest of everything else is called Pancharatri Vidhi. The Yajnas or the Archanas, everything else is secondary. Primary is hearing and chanting. So absorbed in the holy name. Hari, as we discussed in Friday's class also. That 2 syllables, Hari, by simply chanting this holy name, you are already read 4 Vedas. There is a verse quoted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur is quoting, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my Guru has seen me as a fool, more in Prakasana Sarvasi conversation. He mentioned, but he told me that I am a fool, I should chant the holy name of the Lord. So then on that commentary, Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, Prabhupada is giving that commentary. There it is quoted that by simply chanting Hari, 2 syllables, you are automatically reading 4 Vedas. You don't need to read so many other books. So that's why we have to go by what Acharyas give. Give up, further continued, and look upon everyone equally on the spiritual platform. Chant and about and glorify Supreme Lord and look upon everyone equally on the spiritual platform. So it's also very much needed. Give up enmity and subdue anger and lamentation. Give up enmity and subdue anger and lamentation. Abandon identifying the self with the body and home and practice reading the revealed scriptures. See again, so how can you give up this identifying the self? Because we are constantly to be reminded. So that's why we have to do 3 times Gayatri. That's why we have to chant. Even those who are not first and second intention, they have to chant Samsara Dava 3 times. That's why we have to read Bhagavad Gita in the evening, Bhagavatam in the morning, Krishna. We have to constantly remind it. As we put Tilak, you are supposed to be reminded, I am servant of Krishna. I have to do what service I have. Nobody is asking. Those days are gone. Those 30, 40, 50 years ago, devotees are asking, what service can I do, Prabhu, for you, for the Lord, for Sri Prabhupada? Who is asking? Nobody is asking. Everybody is absorbed in something or the other. So this is the problem. This is how we can subdue or this anger, lamentation, abandon identifying the self with the body and the home, and practice reading the revealed scriptures. Live in a secluded place and practice the process by which you can completely control your life here. This is to these Rishabhadev's sons, 100 sons he is describing. Secluded place, but we are not at this level in Kali Yuga. So we can't go and imitate Haridas Thakur or these sons of Lord Rishabhadev. We have to make our home as a temple. You come to temple and you can chant and hear the service. So that's what we are supposed to do. Secluded. We shouldn't be going to secluded place, trying to follow or imitate Haridas Thakur chant 32 rounds, 64 rounds without doing any service. That is not the instruction. Unless you are authorized by your own guru, spiritual master, then you can do. Without that, you are not supposed to do. Then you are on your own. You are not under the mercy of Guru. So you are taking your own life in your own hands, not in Guru's hands. So have full faith in the revealed scriptures, the Vedic literatures, and always observe celibacy. This is the most important. By being in any ashram, Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, Sannyas, Grihastha especially, you have to observe celibacy. There is no other way about it. That is the first and foremost thing again and again Shastra is describing. Hradaya Granthi, the heart knot in the heart for many lifetimes. So male is becoming female, female is becoming male because of this attachment is there. So, and it can only go away more and more you are absorbed in the holy name. More and more, that's why the Bhagavad Gita, when you learn the verses, what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to chant. Whatever you learn, either you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra or you chant this Bhagavad Gita verse or Srimad Bhagavad, whatever verses you are reading, how will you remember the verses? People are saying, oh, you remember a lot of verses. You can also do, anybody can do. You don't need to know so much. You just read one verse and throughout the day, as you are brushing the teeth, as you are taking a bath, you recite the same verse. If you forget, go back and refer the verse. Again recite it. Whole day you do, you will definitely remember. There is no question of not remembering. You practice that in every day like that, your whole month and years, then you are going to remember. So that's how we, like every day we are chanting Samsara Dava. then after a few days, you don't need to read the book. Every day you hear properly Gaura Arati, then you don't need to look at the book. Because we don't pay attention, proper attention, then you don't remember. Damodara, same thing. If there is no proper attention, then you don't know any of this. In initiation, I don't know how many of you have been asked. We have been asked. Can you tell me how do you Tulsi Arati? What are the prayers? What is the translation? You're chanting Sadgo Sai Astaka. Do you know the meaning? Do you know the purpose? What it says? We have to know, because if you are taking initiation, means the basic things you have to know. Otherwise, when you come to temple, you don't know why we are doing samsara, why we are chanting Vande Guru Sri Charana. In front of the Lord, why we are chanting Vande Guru Sri Charana? So much about Guru. That's where the Lord is carrying, Guru is carrying the Lord. Without Guru's mercy, what are we going to understand? Who's going to spread the mercy on this fire of material ocean? We are submerged in material ocean. So that's why it's so important to understand this process. Already 702. We haven't gone to the detail. Amazing purport is there on this instruction of Lord Rosbudaya. We'll stop here. Happy Kartik. Thank you very much. Randra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shatopad ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. If you have any questions, we can take it up on Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. We have evening program, 7 to 9 p.m. We join 7 to 8:30 maybe. We'll try to wrap up. Prema Jagannath Prabhu is coordinating. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to him or Prem Sarar Mataji. We'll be offering lamps. Those who want to offer, as per Mataji do. In India, it's very, very widely celebrated festival of Kartik, Ras Purnima, last day. And you can try to do that also at the temple. You can sponsor or whatever way you like to do. Please come and help in various services, serving prasadam to devotees as the last day of Kartik. That is the way to get mercy, by serving devotees. And fast break will be 4:47 p.m. after sunset. Wait some more time until you see the moonrise, until it becomes a little more dark. You can break Uradal fasting, but it is late after sunset is not so good. So you can break with regular things. Next day morning after eclipse is over, 9 o'clock, you break the Uradal fast. If you are doing based on Panchak, also same thing. And you do with fruits and roots or Havishan after 4:47, and then next day after 9 we can break with Uradal. That is the ideal way. On Ekadasi day also in general like that. Or any fasting days also, the whole day fasting also. Ideally, you do next day morning after sunrise. It's not so good to take grains in the night. You will not see Prabhupada taking so much prasadam. Earlier days, devotees are not taking in the night so much prasadam. It's not so good. Digestion, Ayurvedic diseases, all is coming because of that. After sunset, taking food too much is not good, especially grains. So that we should try to avoid as devotees, understanding the natural process of how body works. Let's chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sri Narsimha, Jai Narsimha, Jai Narsimha. Praladesa, Jai Padma, Mukha Padma, Branga, Ugram Viram, Jalantam, Sarvatomukam, Narasimham, Visham, Bhadram, Mrityor Mutyam Namamyaham. Vinas Narasimha Bhagavan ki Jai. Bhakta Sriram Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. Prabhupada ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. To all of you. Let's pray our obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees. Vancha kalpatarupasya vasamdhupayevasya patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Vaishnava. Thank you all for your association. See you all in the evening.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful.
Hare Krishna.
Happy